Welcome back for part 2, you guys. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing one of the ways that I come up with ideas for shirts for merch by Amazon. If you've been following me for a little while or you're new, let me just say that I don't necessarily chase down hot trends. If something comes up and I think of an idea, then I'll create a shirt for it, but I'm not necessarily chasing hot topics. That might make my sales increase, but it also will make my work increase, and that's not my style, I guess. So I like to go after niches or different areas of interest and try to narrow them down into more specific and direct things that people might be interested in. I know that seems really broad, but once I get talking about it, you'll see what I mean. So let me share with you a shirt idea, and kind of my process of how I came up with it. So a few of the different ways that I look for ideas is, one, I'll come over to Google and I'll type in something like popular hobbies or unusual hobbies or popular professions for millennials or anything like that, just trying to narrow it down to what do people like, what are people doing. And so here, here's a bunch just right across the top that you can scroll through, and one of the things I saw was bird watching. So there's woodworking. I mean, I'm just thinking my father-in-law, he's a blacksmith, that's his hobby. So here I click on bird watching and then lots of different stuff comes up. And, Wikipedia is a good place just to go and check out, what are some words or phrases or kind of like fringe, how do I get that to go away? Fringe things as far as bird watching goes. So I just scroll through and look for things that kind of stand out. So here, birding, bird watching, twitching. Now, twitching is something that's new to me. I've never heard of what that is. So that might be something that I want to explore, because it might not be something that is there's a lot of out there. So first, let me come over to Merch Research. This is a tool that I use when I'm trying to see how well represented a certain niche is. I don't know how you whichever way you say it, niche or niche. So I might type in bird watching in here and see how many shirts there are that are tagged bird watching. So not too many. I mean, 253, that's not so bad. But let's say that I want to narrow it down to whatever twitching is. Where did twitching go? Did we find out what twitching was? Hang on, let me do a search. Twitching. There's bird watching and twitching. Let's see if we can find out more specifically. Twitching is a British term used to the pursuit of previously located rare bird. So it has to do with, you get a list and you're twitching things off the list. So let's take a peek if there are a lot of twitching shirts up there. Now I'm going to, forewarning, I've already uploaded some because I thought I would make this video sooner and I didn't. So some of these are mine and some of these are not mine. So this is the amateur twitcher. Twitching is for the birds. So some of these are mine, some of these are not mine again. So there are not a lot. 11. All right. So it's an area that is not too explored, you know what I mean? I'm waiting for these ranks to load to see if any of these are selling or how they're doing. It may be something that's a bust, it may be something that does well, or maybe one of those. I mean, most of my shirts are like that. They're, what they say, evergreen, where it's not something that's going to be a trending hot shirt that sells like 50 in a month, but throughout the months I might sell 2 or 1, or and having such a broad spectrum of shirts, then I get sort of a sprinkling of different shirts that compile all together to make my sales okay. So this is taking forever to load. Anyway, these are okay. That's the birding shirts. Cool. So then I would come over to trademark, and see if twitching is trademarked, because who knows. And okay, did I miss something? Twitching. And no, it is not trademarked. If I create a phrase with that, I'm going to want to make sure I come and drop that phrase in as well to make sure that it's not trademarked. So this is kind of how I started off going down this rabbit hole. I could have selected any of these, woodworking or home brewing. I mean, there's just, the sky is the limit. So as here I can just keep clicking and there's tons, backpacking, juggling. There was one I even saw that was like ironing in backpack, like ironing in the wild or something was like a new thing. I don't know. trying to get that to go away. There we go. So there's that. So check that out. That's one way I do it. And then let's say I've decided on bird watching or twitching, then I might come over to Pinterest and type it in. Twitching and see if anything comes up, not for me to copy, but just to get some ideas out of. So I typed in twitching, I think. Maybe I had to, all right, try this again. Twitching. Let's see if anything pops up. I am not seeing anything popping up about twitching. So that's good or bad, I don't know. Let's type in bird watching. Bird watching. There we go. And I don't know what Pinterest is having a Pinterest fail for me right now. So Pinterest, never mind. So let's say I'm going to use Instagram. So birding. All right. So I'm looking through. For now, I just see like pictures of birds and stuff. But let's say I want to click on one of these top posts. Here we go. Oh, you're not even in English. That's not going to help me. Of course you're not. So what I'm looking for when I do this is I'm looking for hashtags. So bird lover, bird love, bird lovers, birds of Australia. And then I might go into one of these and try to narrow the field, you know, for finding shirts. Sometimes it works and sometimes you go down this rabbit hole and nothing happens and it's just not very good. So Instabird, there we go, bird of the day, bird lover. But like I say, you just go down. Oh, look how cute that is. Oh. You just can go down this little rabbit hole and figure out, you know, different ideas. I've done this before and it's been really successful. Apparently this time it's not so much, but that's okay. So the next thing that I tend to do, let me close these out, is let's say I'm going to go with twitch birding or twitching. I want to find out some more about it. I want to find out if there's any jokes about it or what exactly is it? What are the terms, the vocabulary that people use when it comes to that. So I'll open up, you know, these tabs to take a peek and see if anything jumps out at me. And this, I mean, like I say, you could go down the rabbit hole for anything with this. So here's something, the big twitch fat bird. I don't know. So I don't feel like reading this right now, honestly. So we already looked at bird watching. So twitcher's vocabulary. Here we go. So these are things that I might use in the description, you know, or the keywords. So if somebody's saying, you know, they wanted to find a chook, or they've already seen a chook, you know, a chook is an already seen or common bird, which I don't know, but if you're a bird watcher or a twitcher, you might know, you know. And so knowing the slang or the puns or the jokes or the inside scoop from a certain niche, this can go with anything, like, you know, that there are probably things that actors or bakers or anybody, they have their inside jokes or their terminology that maybe wouldn't be known to people that don't do that. You know what I mean? So I look for that kind of stuff, you know, lifer, a first ever sighting of a bird, you know. So these might be things that I use when I'm trying to market my shirt, a tick. In addition to a personal list, sometimes a qualified year tick or county tick. Okay. I think it's like you took a bird off a list. I don't know. Anyway, so, you know, slow twitch birding. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can just go down the rabbit hole for, as I keep saying rabbit hole, and then create your shirt. So that is one of the ways that I create my shirts. Now I will pop up one of the shirts I made. So this was one that I made, Amateur Twitcher. And when I go through the process of making a shirt, I will share with you, well, I guess I can share with you now, when you're creating your title or your brand for your shirts, it's not necessarily your brand that, like my brand is Texas Gal Treasures, or my shop, my business. I'm not going to put that for my brand name, because unless you're looking for just my shirts, that's going to really narrow the field of who's looking for my stuff. So let's say somebody's looking for birding shirts or bird watching shirts. This is going to appeal to them, right? That they're going to go and find out. But you say, oh, what if you want them to see all the rest of your shirts that you made? Well, I mean, they might want a shirt with a hot dog on it. I don't know, but probably not, you know? So, or they might want a shirt that's got, you know, fishing themed, or they might, you know, but if I have 300 something shirts, I know at the early on you might only have 10 shirts, but It's okay. And if you're wondering, well, how am I going to find my shirts? Well, when you look in your dashboard, you can find all your shirts there. It's no big deal. You can find them. It's okay. You won't lose them. So that's what I did there. And then you'll see down here, I created my title, amateur twitcher shirt, bird watching twitching shirt. Then this is where I grabbed all those keywords and things from when I was looking at the terminology, vocabulary. That's what I'm going to use here. So I say, whether you're spotting chooks, ticks, or megaticks, this shirt is perfect for the bird watcher in your life. While that might not mean anything to you, to a bird watcher, when they read that, they're like, aha, somebody gets me, right? Ornithologists will love this birding ornithology shirt. So that's kind of the way I go about researching, trying to come up with ideas for my shirts.